my goodness, guys. Oh, The Rock. Oh, The Rock. Okay. There's a piece, and I'm going to send this to our producer. It's on Instagram, and I'm hoping that it can be inserted in this. I don't know what the rules are on that. I think that becomes public domain and that I'm welcome to it, but I want you to see it. And it's just The Rock with Cody Rhodes.
Clear, now you stay down. Fuck that.
Clear, guys.
Fuck that. You shut your mouth. Clear my ass. How did that feel? Did that feel good? What, just because the show's over, that doesn't mean that this shit stops. The Rock doesn't give a fuck. Huh? You should cry. You should cry, boy. Look at that blood. Now, look at this blood. Yes. Yes. What? Show is over and then it stops? Fuck that. Your script? Fuck that. God. This is what happens, boy, when you fuck with the final. Come in here, cameraman. Look at that face. Look at that. Huh? Now, Mama Rose. Mama Rose. This is for you. That's for you. I'll see you at WrestleMania. Fuck him.
WrestleMania is coming up this weekend. And there's a number of extremely fascinating pieces to this. I mean, even if I was to back up 2 years ago, Vince McMahon announces that WrestleMania is going to be a 2-day event. Now, of all the ideas that Vince has had, in my estimation, that was amongst the worst. And I'm not talking about, the gobbledygooker and suit and things like that. I'm just, from a business standpoint, to believe, I mean, that would be so obviously a cash grab. No business can do that. No business can get away with that. One of your top executives has to be a master of going out and turning people upside down and shaking them till all the money falls out of their pockets while looking as though they're not doing that at all. You have to have that element. So for WWE to believe they could play the same venue 2 days in a row, they could sell an event on pay-per-view. Don't forget, guys, WrestleMania is 6 hours. It's 6 to 6.5 hours. You're talking about 12 to 13 hours and WrestleMania for a large part, right? Broad stroke. Like if you're watching this by yourself, I don't want you to feel like I'm teasing your isolation, but it's a party type event. It is very similar to the Super Bowl. It is generally parties will happen. You will get together. Somebody's bringing the pizza. Somebody's bringing the soda. Let's all meet over here at 3 o'clock. And to believe and to hedge a bet as a billionaire, as Vince McMahon is a very smart guy, to hedge a bet that you could do that 2 days in a row, you are so blatantly telling the audience that you want their money. And it had never been done in sport. It had never been considered in football. Never even been considered in baseball. Never been considered in anything. Not to mention Vince plays 80,000 seat venues at times. Sure enough, he sold them out both nights. He brought the people in. He entertained them for 6 hours. They all go home tired. They got their fill, but it's enough. Thank you and goodbye. There's a reason this is once a year. He sweeps out the building, he empties the trash, he reloads the popcorn, and he brings them in the very next day and does it again. I mean, it was truly an amazing thing. So, The Rock comes out this year, and The Rock was genuinely caught off guard. I mean, this is one of the great entertainers, this is one of the great performers. Of my lifetime, The Rock is the coolest guy. And that's not a word you get to use very often. You started using that around 7th grade, and you definitely stopped by the time you left high school. Nobody in college, nobody in the military, nobody on the job site, nobody talks about cool, right? Can we agree on that? what's cool. The Rock's cool. He's the coolest guy of my lifetime. I don't know that that's going to be replaced, and he's in a very interesting spot. And he is so wildly beloved, but he's a human being. And this is the part that he would not admit to you. None of them can admit this to you. All of them have a understanding. All of they're just working. It's just business. I'm just here to entertain you, which is a stone cold lie. And I don't know why all of them have to tell the same lie. I don't know. There's always been a proclivity within wrestling for somebody to come out and be the first to do something different. It wouldn't really matter what that was. You'd be the first guy to pull brass knuckles out of your trunks when the ref is looking. It doesn't overly matter what it is. There's a proclivity and people are drawn to it. And it does surprise me that somebody like The Rock, one of these great workers, multi-generation guy, doesn't come out and say that, hey, I'm a human being. Like, there's no scenario where The Rock returned to wrestling because he needed it. It was not about money. It wasn't because he needed it. But you do to get a certain feel, and that you can't replace. I don't miss fighting from a perspective of I miss punching somebody or I miss being punched. But there is a feel that environment, from the walkouts to the announcements to the fear to the excitement, all of that brings, there's a feel that can't be replaced. And while I might talk about in the media a negotiation or the money or this, or I better get points or I'm not coming, I know inside I am. Because I can't buy that anywhere else. So when The Rock came back to professional wrestling, he came back to feel good. He came back for the drug. Yes, there was money, and yes, there was a negotiation, sure. But it's not what made him say yes. He came back for that adoration and the eruption of the crowd, and not just for those nights. The Rock is very good at playing chess. Well, he will take that attention and he will take that adoration and he will then spin that into something else. It's very basic, but it takes a level of understanding and it takes something known as a strategy, which no other wrestler on the card has. There's only been 10 in the history of the industry that come in with a strategy. The Rock happens to be one. So there's a number of reasons, but it is all based around feeling good. Like if you came to him and you had a crystal ball and you could show him, you're going to get this money and you're going to go over here and you're going to go under here and here's going to be the spots. You're going to have to fly out to Cincinnati. Like if you showed him everything and then you also showed him the ingredients of they are going to hate you. You're going to be booed like you have never been booed. Whoa, he'd stop you right there. And there would be no number. Hey, you're going to give me $30 million for this whole thing. Okay, well, now that you know you're going to get booed, I'm going to give you 40. No, there would be no number. 60, 80, 90, there would be no number where he would have agreed. And I tell you that because I think it'd be a good idea if he came out and told you these things. I mean, he would be the first to ever do that. They all pretend it doesn't matter. They all pretend, boos are a heel's cheers. That's how I know I got them. I evoked an emotion. They say the same thing, but it's not true. And The Rock was genuinely thrown off and did not like it when the crowd booed him, when they turned on him. When they let him know, no matter what a star you are, we have something over here, and there's an integrity that gets preserved for the guys that go on the road. And WrestleMania, which is once a year, is preserved for the guys who have paid their dues, not for who is most famous. And this is new by the audience, by the way. The audience has always gone to who's most famous, right? The most famous guys who headlines WrestleMania. That's why The Rock got brought in. It's why you can pay him $30 million and justify it for one night of action, plus the spots, of course. When another guy that was on the road 250 days going to come in just shy of $1 million, but everybody's going to be okay with it. That is what the industry is, so The Rock got caught off guard. And when I tell you he didn't like it, it's so important that you understand that. And it's so important that The Rock, and I'm talking about Dwayne Johnson, not the character, Dwayne Johnson allows you to understand that. If Dwayne Johnson wants to get the credit that he deserves. Because see, if this was easy and this was a natural fit and this was just entertainment, that's what our industry does. And sometimes we go here and sometimes we go there, then you haven't done anything special. You haven't done anything at all. If I go out somewhere and I play handsome and charming, lightning fast and strong and beloved Chael Sonnen, I'm not acting, that's just who I am. Women love him and the men want to be like him, and this guy's got the cool car and he's got the cool shirts. Where did he get that? That's just who I am. I haven't acted anything. I haven't done anything. So it's very important that The Rock be the first wrestler to let you know, no, I don't like that. And no, I didn't come back to get booed at 50 years old. I came back to be loved at 50 years old. I am a narcissist. You helped to make me this way. It was my number one driving fact to make it to the number one spot in Hollywood. I am a narcissist. I appreciate that you like how I look, but I don't. That's why I take the steroids. I'm trying to change these things. It's why I have specialists that do makeup and they do my hair. They put me in these fancy shirts that I tell people are Versace's. I do it because I am insecure. So when I come here and I get a building to love me, it makes me feel wonderful. And I wanted to come back if I known that very building was going to hate me. And once you understand that, then you can understand the mastery that The Rock has pulled off, and just in time, by the way. He has been limping along, and there's something special there, right? This coolest guy in my lifetime. There's something there. There's an attraction there. And The Rock amongst the boys, main event, he's in the right spot. Like everything's there. But then how well are you going to do? How well? Conor is still our top draw in our industry. Conor is not going to beat numbers or beat records that are currently set by Conor, right? He is not what he wants, but he's still in front of everybody else. And that's where The Rock is. So, there's no insult here. But what I'm sharing for you is he came out this week in this clip, of which I'm hoping is public domain and my partner Ryan can show to you guys. Wow. Wow. The great heels are the ones that you truly believe. You truly feel a fear. The Undertaker had that. I was 11 years old and I passed The Undertaker. St. Paul, Minnesota, in an airport. And he was in character and did not look. He was zoned out and went this way. And if anybody said ooh or ah or tried to stop him, he wouldn't do it. You ask him for an autograph, you're a sweet little kid, he'd love to give it, but he'd tell you no. You had a genuine fear. And that's going to be nearly impossible for The Rock to do. Now, I do buy The Rock as a badass, right? He's got the right height, he's got the football, he's got multi-generations, he's all juiced up. I do buy him as a badass, but to be scared, he's just too cool, he's just too handsome, he's just too funny. His teeth and smile are just too nice. He's on the board of directors, I know too much about him. And he got me real close there either way. He cursed. He curses in this clip multiple times. I don't believe he's ever done an R-rated movie. I've never heard him curse that includes within his movies. He went after Mama Rhodes. I don't know anything about Mama Rhodes. I don't know if she's alive. I assume that she's not, but I don't know. So it is a very sensitive, it is a very tough topic, even from an entertainment standpoint. He went after her while he's beating the hell out of Cody, who's bleeding all over the place. He's yelling at the set and the people on camera. Says, I don't care if we're off the air, right? He did it to present it in a way as though this was captured. And even though we knew it was a performance, I'm just sharing for you, it was awesome. It was awesome, and it was not something he wanted to do, and he had to force himself, and he had to get into it, and he had to keep trying, and he finally found his lane days before bell time. And if he will admit to you that the way I just told the story is simply the best way that anybody has told the story that he's ever heard, which is true, every word. If he would do that, that is where he can then take the bow for the master class of character storytelling that The Rock has done for this WrestleMania.